Good afternoon and welcome to today's Talking Cafe Live. My name is Lauren Giddins. I am the locality manager for the Sedgemoor Village and Community Agents, and it feels like a really long time since I have done a Talking Cafe Live. It's now been over a year since I did the first one during the lockdowns last year, and I'm back today. I wanted to do today because I am really passionate about the topic that we are speaking about. So you may have seen from our Facebook posts that this week is National Carers Week. Now, Carers Week is an annual campaign to raise awareness of caring, highlight the challenges unpaid carers face, and recognise the contribution they make to families and communities throughout the UK. It also helps people who don't think of themselves as having caring responsibilities to identify as carers and access much needed support. So this year, National Carers Week, we are all coming together to make caring visible and valued. We have a video that our fantastic marketing officer, Hannah, has put together for us. You may have seen it shared on our Facebook, and I wanted to kick off today's Talking Cafe with showing you that. So in the background, that video is going to appear for us, and it's just a couple of minutes long. There are 6.5 million people in the UK who are unpaid carers. It was really important to me that we kick-started National Carers Week hearing the voice of someone who knows exactly what it's like to be an unpaid carer. We are extremely thankful to be joined by an unpaid carer today. So I would like to introduce you to Val. Hello, Val. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Now, Val, we're just going to start today. I would really like to know about you and your husband, Peter, and perhaps what life was like for you before you became an unpaid carer. Did you both work? Have you got family?
Yes, we have got we've got a son and a daughter, and Peter he's still a priest officially, and so he was very busy, and he was good at giving talks and one thing and another. But he was diagnosed 6 years ago with dementia, and he has gradually deteriorated. But to start with, he did all the right things, socialising and helping himself and having medication. So it's been very, very gradual, his decline. And so to start with, I didn't really have to do much looking after, but gradually I've taken things over. I think the first thing I took over was the finance, which he was always brilliant at. But I feel very grateful that it's been a gradual, because I've been able to learn and be able to manage things. Whereas if he died, I would have had to, So I'm very, very grateful that he's still here, and he's been able to guide me as I've started doing more.
Yeah. Great. What's an average day like for you and Peter, Val? How do things, go for you? What's your days like?
Well, they've changed recently because our dog died. I used to go out with the dog first thing in the morning. And I can leave Peter for a few hours. I wouldn't like to leave him overnight or anything like that. But anyway, I used to go out, so I'm going to get another dog, and then come home, and he watches quite a lot of television. He's listening to audio books. And I do the garden. I'm very keen on the garden. So while he's doing things like that, but I'm around. But latterly, he has started being very immobile. And falling a lot, which has caused, some difficulties really getting him up again because he's quite a big man. But we're coping. And then in the evening, we just sit down and watch the DVDs because there's not much on the television. So we watch DVDs. Doesn't sound sort of that much, but the days fly by.
Yeah. Are your days taken up with a lot of, do you do the larger part of the household duties like cooking and cleaning and washing and things like that? Is that kind of all on you now, Val?
Yes, but we have got a cleaner who comes in once a fortnight.
Good.
So that's and Peter's wanted me to get a gardener, but I refused because that's the bit of
that's your thing.
I prefer the gardening to cleaning.
Yes.
So I do, but it's just sad really to see him deteriorating, But on the whole, he remains reasonably cheerful. He has down days. I think everybody does, don't they? Up and down days. But but it's good for me to get out, and see other people. I used to going out with the dog because I could chat to people in the park and things like that, which was very important. But I will do it again because I've got my name.
You will, absolutely. You've got your name on a list, have you, waiting? Are you going to get a puppy or a rescue dog?
Well, I've tried for rescue and I couldn't find one, a small one. So I've actually going to have 2 puppies.
Oh, exciting. So and do you think Peter will enjoy that?
Yes, I think we were going to have one, but I think we both sort of almost fought over the dog before. Sit on my lap, sit on my lap. And I think it's very good for somebody with dementia to have, an animal and somebody can stroke and look after. Just hope he doesn't trip over it, but I'll train it first before he's let him loose.
Yes.
So
have you had any support, Val, with Peter's mobility issues? Have you had an occupational therapist come and assess you or anything like that?
No.
So that might be something that we can support with, Val. We might be able to, I know you know Kim, one of our village agents over in North Sedgemoor. It may be that Kim can speak to you after today and we can look at linking you up with the right services to support you with Peter's mobility. I
think that would be really helpful because I think we both feel we haven't had an awful lot of support. I don't know whether that's our fault or not, but it would be really good, to have, an OT person to help out and just show us how to do things, perhaps just prevent him from falling. I mean, he's got a trolley now that he's using to push in the house, and he's got 2 crutches. But it's in the garden really. He falls most.
Okay. Well, that's exactly the kind of support that we can give at Somerset Carers Service, Val. We can link you up with the right services who can come and have a look at the house and at Peter and at what aids or mobility equipment they might be able to provide with you to prevent those falls from happening. Because I know it's cliche, but prevention is much better than dealing with the falls after the event. So that's almost certainly something that I will ask him to get in contact with you this week.
That's lovely. That would be really, really good.
Good. So the other thing I was going to ask you, and you've kind of touched on it, Val, is how you make sure that you are getting time for yourself. So you've said that you like doing the gardening and you are hoping to get your dogs so that you can go for dog walks. Are there any other ways that you kind of make sure that you are looking after yourself as an unpaid carer?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, my son took me away for 2 nights. and my daughter-in-law stayed with Peter, and that was
Good.
brilliant. That was a real break, and I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I'm hoping to do that again sometime. As I say, I wouldn't want to leave Peter on his own. He sometimes says he'll be all right, but just wouldn't relax if I left him on his own overnight. I really wouldn't.
Mm.
So just getting away, or even just going out for the day, is quite good. But Peter's just much happier at home, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, or have you in the past, I know it's been very difficult in the last year or so, but have you had any contact with other unpaid carers? Do you go to a group or similar?
Well, we used to have a coffee morning at the Hobbs Boat just up the road. But of course, that stopped, when the first lockdown, so last March. So I haven't been able to chat to people like that. And we have got friends that I occasionally see. And I've got one particular friend who I can talk to. And my son and daughter are very good. They phone up quite a bit, and they're quite happy to listen to any moan I've got.
Oh, good. Do you think that coffee morning will restart again now that the restrictions are easing?
I don't know, because Peter sort of ran it, so we need somebody else. He couldn't run it now, but if somebody else ran it, I think we might go. But also,
again, that's definitely something that we can support with, Val. So in partnership with Spark Somerset, we run carers groups. Now, of course, they have had to stop during the pandemic, but we will be looking to restart them again. We had a fantastic carers group that ran in the Burnham-on-Sea area that was really popular and really well attended. And we will look at restarting some of the other groups that are available in the area. So I will make sure that as soon as those have reopened, that Kim lets you know, because I really do think that as an unpaid carer, it's so important that you have time with people who understand what you're going through. Like you say, you can listen to the moans and kind of know exactly, relate to what you've been experiencing, and actually to share your experiences, because no one knows better than an unpaid carer what it's like. And you will pick up tips and tricks along the way and share those with one another. And so if we can get people back to those peer support groups so that unpaid carers aren't quite so alone in our community, then that's a big aim of ours.
Yes, well, that sounds really good. Yes.
Good. We will.
Yes.
Perfect. I'll make sure that Kim lets you know.
Okay, that's very kind of you. Thank you, Lauren.
No worries. Is there anything else, Val, that you can think of that you would like either the public watching or other professionals to know about what it's like to be an unpaid carer?
I'm not sure really, but it is difficult at times. Sometimes it isn't, but sometimes it is a bit difficult. I'm not sure what help, because you don't know from one day to the next, what's going to happen. So it is a bit difficult pinpointing what would be helpful.
Have you had any support, Val, or have you spent any time thinking about what you might do in an emergency if you were to become unwell, or if Peter was to fall unwell? Have you kind of made a bit of an emergency plan?
I haven't, no. He's got a lifeline now.
Good.
He's very reluctant to use it, but which I feel should press it more if he needs help. But
yes.
But I wouldn't go out so much if I didn't know he got the lifeline, because I feel if he is at home on his own and he falls, then he can press it, and get help.
Yeah.
So that's important, really.
So again, that's something else that our village agent can support you with, is to sit down with you and we've got a really handy form that we can fill out and leave with you that just asks the questions, if you were to become unwell, or if Peter was to become unwell, who are you going to call? What would you like to happen to Peter if perhaps you had to go in for a short hospital stay? Just kind of helps you create a little bit of peace of mind for the future if we've kind of had a conversation about what you might do and what you might like to happen. So again, that's something our village agent can help with.
Well, she's very good, Kim. Because I meet her at we do have a carers group that she comes to, because of course her mother's got dementia as well. So
Yes.
I do get that, and that is helpful. It is, as you say, helpful talking to other carers. You know, it doesn't solve anything perhaps, but at least they understand where you're coming from.
Mm.
So I enjoy that. That's once a month. So, but of course we've only met once now. We met a few weeks ago for the first time. Otherwise, we've been on Zoom, you know. But it's much better meeting in person and chatting to the people.
And is that a group that you would take Peter along with you, or does Peter stay at home whilst you attend that carers group?
Peter stays at home. Yes, it's usually just the carers. It isn't anybody who's been cared for. Mm.
That gives you a really good opportunity, doesn't it, to be completely honest about your experiences?
Yes, because we've all been through. Well, we all know what we're talking about, you know. So
Yes.
that's really, really good.
It's interesting because the carers group that we used to run at Burnham-on-Sea, there were lots of people who attended that who had been unpaid carers but weren't currently, and they kept attending because their experiences were so invaluable to the way that the group ran. They were able to still share what they had learned and what they had been through, and it gave confidence to new carers that they were going to come through this journey as well.
Yes. I can understand that, yes.
Yeah, but it is worth mentioning as well that there are activities and coffee mornings and groups and things that are starting to reopen again now, where you can take your loved one along with you. So if you got to a point with Peter that you didn't feel that you could leave him on his own, that there might be activities that you can join together, so that you've still got him close by, but you still get a little bit of respite time too.
Yes. Yes, they're good meetings like that. There used to be one at the Premier Inn in Weston.
Yeah.
That we used to go to, but that's it's COVID's, I'm afraid, upset everything.
Oh, it has. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, hopefully we're coming to the end.
Yes, absolutely. The sun is shining again, and I feel like metaphorically the sun is shining again. You know, we really are starting to reopen our communities and get that support back in place for people who have found it so difficult since March last year.
I think the weather actually helps an awful lot. It lifts everybody's spirits, whether you've got dementia or not. It does lift your spirits, and you do feel better. It's very good therapy, really, sunshine.
Definitely, I quite agree. So is there anything else, Val, that you can tell us about being an unpaid carer?
Not sure, really.
Not sure.
No.
Well, I can't thank you enough. Go on.
It's just, you take a day at a time. That's the only way you can live, is to take a day at a time. I don't worry about tomorrow. There's no point. So I just take a day at a time and get through it. And we do. We're very much in tune and we watch in the evening on the television and things like that, which is it's a joint effort, which is really good.
Good. It sounds like you're doing a fantastic job at keeping Peter engaged in the things he likes. You mentioned earlier audiobooks. Is he still enjoying listening to those whilst he's at home?
Well, he does, but he falls asleep.
Whatever works for an afternoon nap.
Nothing wrong with sleep. You don't
Absolutely not.
Need to.
Yes. So, and of course, Peter sleeping gives you a little bit of time to do what you need to do or get out in the garden.
Yes. So that seems to work quite well.
Good. How's meal times in your house, Val? Is Peter still eating well?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, we've just
have
our main meal at lunchtime. And then we
have
snack tea. It seems to suit our routine best.
Okay.
We just had turkey, actually. I bought one for Christmas. Just decided it's time we ate it.
Is it? 6 months later.
So
do you do most of the cooking, Val?
I do all the cooking. Yes.
All the cooking.
Yes.
Well, that's something else that we can help with if ever there comes a point where you're finding that cooking is too much for you, or you just want a couple of nights off a week. We've got various options that we can support you with to kind of alleviate that pressure as well. Same with, housework, washing, Laundry is often a big one for unpaid carers because you can end up with loads of washing to do.
Yeah.
So anything like that comes up that's just making your life a little bit more difficult, we want to alleviate that pressure so that you can keep in your caring role for as long as possible, as long as you and Peter are happy and healthy. But those pressures that come up along the way, we can alleviate them somewhat for you.
Yeah.
So you would just get in contact with Kim and we would do our absolute best to support you. And if anybody's watching this and they don't have the lovely Kim attached to them, there is a telephone number you can ring and we can give you that support with your local village agent. Well, thank you so much, Val, for being with us today. I've taken up enough of your time and I'm sure you want to get back to Peter just to make sure. I think he's been in the background, hasn't he? I've seen him floating about, listening. Hello, Peter. Is he all right back there? Hello there.
Come and say hello. Or do you want to finish, Laura?
I didn't think.
If Peter wants to come and say hello, that would be fantastic.
I was in vision, but no, I haven't come to. I haven't.
Come, we just finished, so.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's.
Good afternoon, Peter.
Yeah.
Just sit down and say hello, Louis.
Okay, but I mean, yeah. Can't see me.
You'll have to squidge over a little bit. Come and sit closer to your lovely wife. There you are. How are you doing, Peter?
Well, I'm doing all right until I fall and things like that. But
have you been drinking too much in the afternoons?
Yes, well, there's no need to do that one. But, I'm all right, really. I'm okay. Val is very good, and I've got nothing to complain about there. So it's just a case of taking it as it goes. And
you get very frustrated.
I do get frustrated because I'm at the moment I can recognise what I've lost. You know, in a couple of years' time, I might be just looking into space, not realising who I am or anybody else is. But at the moment, I can recognise the parts of my life that aren't working at all now. So, and I think that's. I used to think if you get into the stage I'm at now, you're probably at the worst, really, because you know what you've lost, and you can't recover it. I can't make money work. I can't make finance work now. But give it another 2 or 3 years, I'll probably just be happy looking at the television. And here we go. I laugh at it anyway. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. I don't take it too seriously. And, that's all right.
Good. So we've been talking today, Peter.
You have a dog, aren't you?
Oh yes, we're going to have 2 dogs. Yes. I said we should call them Bill and Ben, but
depends on the set.
Yeah. So I think you heard enough from me now. You heard enough from Val. So.
Well, just before I let you go, Peter, we've been talking today about Val's kind of role as an unpaid carer. And I was just going to ask you, do you think that having Val there to support you has made all the difference in keeping you well for 6 years?
Absolutely. I say fairly regularly, if he wasn't here, I would have to go somewhere else to be cared for, and I don't want that. And so I'll do my best to keep her well. But,
so you count your lucky stars when you go to bed at night that you've got Val there to support you.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining us today. As I mentioned earlier, it is so important to me that we hear from the voices of the people that we are talking about. So I can't thank you enough for being with us and sharing your experiences. I will absolutely get Kim to give you a ring later on in the week, Val, to give you that support around Peter's mobility so we can try and stop you falling on your bum a bit more, Peter.
Yeah. It's all right to fall on my bum, but it's if I go forward, that's what frightens me.
That's the trouble.
But
Yeah.
therapist would help.
It would help, yes. That's
So we're going to do that for you, Peter. We're going to link you up with the services who can come and see you at home and assess your surroundings and your mobility, and they can put some things in place to help keep you a bit safer at mobilising well around the home. That
would be really good. At the moment, we don't know what we're missing. So
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we can absolutely support with that. So I will let you both go now and go and enjoy your afternoon. Hopefully you can squeeze a nap in, and Val, you can do some gardening.
Thank you very much, Lauren. It's been
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. We will speak to you soon.
Right. Thank you for your help. Okay.
Thank you. You take care.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So I don't know what I could say that could possibly follow up that interview. Val and Peter are just fantastic. And it just goes to show what a difference having an unpaid carer makes to Peter. But I will finish off today with just a little bit about Somerset Carers service and what we can do to support you if you have caring responsibilities. So we offer free support and information for unpaid carers. So anyone over the age of 18 that looks after someone else in an unpaid caring capacity, we can support you. You can refer to yourself to Somerset Carers service, or with permission, you can refer another person to Somerset Carers service. So you could be looking after a loved one, you could be looking after a friend, a partner, parent, or a child. It doesn't matter whether the cared for is under or over the age of 18, or if you're caring for them on a regular or irregular basis. Our agents can support you. So up on the screen here, you can see our fantastic Somerset Carers service website. It is worth mentioning that this website is undergoing development at the moment, and we hope that very soon it will become a hub for unpaid carers to go to receive all of the advice that you might need to keep you well in your caring role. Keep an eye on our Somerset Carers Facebook page for that new website coming very soon. We also have a newsletter that we send out quite frequently that gives lots of updates to unpaid carers, so it's well worth having a look for that on our website too. So during that talk with Val, we have mentioned lots of ways that we can support you as an unpaid carer. We have had a comment here from Colin, and it's very valid that Colin has asked if we support carers when the person they're caring for passes away, and absolutely we do. If you want to get in touch with us, Colin, or anyone else watching this, whether you're an unpaid carer now or you have been previously, you can give us a ring and we can support you. You know, the difficulties don't stop when you stop being an unpaid carer. We absolutely recognise that. So please do get in touch. So some of the other things that our agents do to support unpaid carers, we can help you to register with your GP as a carer. There is lots of beneficial reasons for doing this, but we do know that sometimes it can be difficult taking that step in recognising that you are an unpaid carer. So we can help you with that. We can help bridge the gap between you and health and social care professionals to make sure that you know you can access what you need and what you absolutely deserve as an unpaid carer. We can look at what social opportunities are available for you and you're cared for to make sure that you are staying well and connected to your community. We can explore respite options with you to make sure that you're getting adequate breaks from your caring role. We can check that you're receiving the correct financial support and benefits. And as I mentioned with Val there, we can help you create an emergency plan so that if you or your cared for was to become unwell or there's an emergency that comes up, you can have peace of mind that you've put something in place, you've thought about what you would like to happen in that situation. And they're just some of the ways, just a handful of the ways that we support unpaid carers every day in Somerset. I'm just going to finish today on a case study that has been sent to me by one of my village agents in Sedgemoor that highlights exactly the work that we can do with unpaid carers. So this agent received a self-referral from a carer who looked after their husband. They'd recently moved county, so they'd come out of county into Somerset, moved to Sedgemoor, and they just had no idea where to start with regards to registering with doctors, dentists, chiropodists, opticians, and what they were going to do to fill their days. Were there any support or activities that they could get involved with? So our agent provided some short-term support in that they got them registered with the local GP. They found all the details for all the services that they needed, opticians, chiropodists, transport, and she sent all of that through email, and the carer was able to sit and digest that email at her own time. And that meant that she was connected to all the services that she might need in her role as a carer. The agent has also been working with that client more long term to make sure that they are set up financially to cope with the financial demands of being an unpaid carer. So applying for attendance allowance and applying for carers allowance, we can really support you. And as that agent did, supported that carer to make those applications. And then the agent has also worked with the carer to look at social activities in their area that might be able to support them, create a real network of friends, other carers that can support that unpaid carer in that role. So that carer and that cared for has moved from a place of feeling unsure, unstable, no support network, not knowing how to access the services that they were eligible for. Our agent has gone in and provided all that information and the support to access those services. That client is now completely connected with their community. With all of these sustainable outcomes that our agent has provided. So that just gives you a real quick snapshot of some of the work that we are doing with unpaid carers to make sure that people are well and connected in their community. I don't think there have been any other questions today, so I am going to wrap it up. But this video will be posted on our social media. So if you are watching it on replay and you do have a question, please do pop it in the comments section. We will come back and answer it when we get a minute. Or if you are an unpaid carer and you are looking for support, even if you don't know what that support is, and you just want to have an initial conversation about how your days are and some of the things that you might be finding difficult, please do give us a ring. You will speak to an agent who will be able to have that conversation with you and be able to direct you into the right kind of services that can support you to stay well and stay connected as a carer. So that's all from me today. It has been fantastic being back doing a Talking Cafe, and I'm sure it won't be long before I'm back in the future. As I say, please do reach out. If you are not sure if you are an unpaid carer, give us a ring. We can help you. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Goodbye.